Alright, everyone. Let's get metal. Hello, everyone. Britton here, also known as Samoki Dude, and today I'm going to be covering a comic, as a matter of fact, Murder Falcon. Sorry if I sound a little weird. I'm recovering from a sickness. I've been sick for the past couple days. Almost a week now. But anyway, I'm going to be talking about Murder Falcon today from Daniel Warren Johnson, who's actually on YouTube. If you want to go check him out, I'll link his YouTube channel down below if you want to see him do his stuff. He does a lot of drawing live streams on there. But Murder Falcon is awesome. I love Daniel Warren Johnson. He's become one of my favorite. He's quickly become one of my favorite comic artists, like, working nowadays. He has a very dynamic style. He has a very, if you can look at some of the illustrations in this. Hold on, let me just look there, like that. Bam! He has such a dynamic style. It's so, like, high. It balls to the walls insanity. And I love just the scope of his imagination, almost to the point where you could almost compare him to people like Jean Giraud or Moebius, as he was called, or Jeff Darrow, for instance. I definitely think he definitely reaches that at points. But he's also a pretty good writer, too. I really enjoyed Murder Falcon. I think Murder Falcon is a great story. Now, admittedly, when you look at the cover, and you see the cover right here, it's this kind of, it's this blonde-haired guy in this, like, fucking cyborg falcon man on the cover, and you think, okay, Britton, that looks really silly. And I'll admit to you, it is pretty silly. It is very silly, and it is meant to be very silly. And I really enjoy. And it knows that it's silly, so it's not like, so it's not like it's, excuse me, so it's not like it's a complete, like, it knows it's silly, so it's not like trying to be uber serious. But at the same time, there's also, excuse me, a lot of surprising emotion in this book, and a lot of heart as well, especially with the relationship between the titular Murder Falcon. I'm snickering every time I say that name because it's silly. And Jake, who is our main protagonist here. And there's also a lot of interesting themes that are woven into this story. A lot of themes about grief and coming to terms with your mortality. I really love the way that this story kind of tricks you. You think it's going to be one story, but then it turns into a completely different story. And the way that Daniel Warren Johnson has pulled that off is very impressive. Now, admittedly, this might be my favorite thing that Daniel Warren Johnson has done so far, because it's just high bollocks, or just high rollicking, balls to the walls insanity, but it also has a lot of heart, like I said. And very interesting layers of storytelling as well in this comic. Of course, the characterization is very strong in this, which is really what makes the comic so emotional and as touching as it sometimes is the characterization. Jake is a guy who's going through a lot of problems, and he's really he's gotten out of his funk. And his friends are basically trying to encourage him to get that back. And once these strange kaiju creatures start showing up, and once Murder Falcon shows up gets him, where Murder Falcon comes in the equation, he kind of has to get his act together and go back to doing his, because he used to be a guitarist. I don't want to spoil, because like I said, the story does a very interesting thing, and I'll try and keep it vague. I'll put it like this. When you see the setup of this book, you might get an idea on what it is. But then, Daniel Warren Johnson completely flips that expectation on its ear. Again, I'm trying to keep this as vague as possible, but when he did that, that really surprised me. You know, now that I'm talking about this, I like this comic even more and more now that I'm thinking about it. The characters in this are excellent, like I mentioned, and they're very realistic. They feel like real people, even though they're in this really wacky situation. And there's a lot of emotion in this. That's really freaking touching, moving stuff. That, again, I don't want to get into, because I think you guys should go read this. But I thought it was very touching. I thought there was some really beautiful stuff in there about, you know, mortality and spending time with the people that you love. Now, admittedly, I haven't read a lot of other Johnson stuff. I do have some of his stuff up there I haven't read yet, like Do a Power Bomb, which is his new comic, his Beta Ray Bill series, which I need to read that, and his Wonder Woman series that he did. I did read Extremity from him, which I liked, but I had issues with the pacing. The pacing in this is a lot better. The story feels much more cohesive. It feels more drawn out. And the storytelling is very good. Again, it really subverts your expectations on what's going to happen. Johnson's art, as always, awesome. I love his style. It's so dynamic. He captures movement very well. Just the colors as well. I mean, you know, you got Mike Spicer, his collaborator, as his colorer. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Look at this. It's so good. I mean, look at this. It's just, it's so good. It's so good. And it's just, like, his art is just, look at this. Look at that. You could put that you could put that in an art museum, man. Like, it's so good. His art is dynamic, it's bombastic, it has personality. I mean, the balls to it's just insane. Like, all of the designs of the characters are distinct. All of the monster designs are really awesome. I just really enjoy. Just, again, look at that. Look at this art style. It's so, like, look at that. How can you not fucking drool over this art style? And I can only imagine the work he put into it. Because, oh man, like, I would just be I would be very proud of myself if I you know, it's just good stuff. I really enjoyed it. But again, there's also a lot of emotion in this, and not what I would expect from something like this. And I don't want to spoil it, but there are some tear-jerky moments in this, and it's just great. Also, what's awesome about Murder Falcon, it's just freaking epic. Like, it is, like, if you captured metal music, I'm not much of a listener of metal. I have listened to some stuff, like Motorhead and Metallica, but, if ever there were a comic, or a book, or anything that has ever captured what it's like to listen to metal, it is this. It captures that insane, bombastic, over-the-top, just utterly insane feeling that metal gives you that you can't really describe, but you know it when you listen to, like, a really good metal song. And Daniel Warren Johnson is unapologetically a metal fan, non-surprisingly, but this is basically his love letter to metal, and I really enjoyed reading through it. It was just fun. This was a fun read, but it was also a very engaging read, and it was also, at times, very sad, because you really grow to care about these characters, and you grow to care about what's going on with these characters. But it's also got a lot of awesome comic book stuff that shows me why I enjoy the medium so much, because you can basically do whatever you want with it. Excuse me. I mean, if you like stuff like Akira, or Godzilla, or anything like that, or if you're a fan of metal, I mean, I listen to a lot of Rush. I mean, I guess Rush isn't technically metal, but I listened to a lot of Rush when reading this, and it fit with the tone very well. I mean, if you like that stuff, give Murder Falcon a read. I was going to cover this last week, But unfortunately, Cormac McCarthy died, and I'm like, well, crap, I have to cover that. I can't just let that go unanswered. But Murder Falcon. I did it this week because, you know, I owed Murder Falcon that much, and I really do think it's a great comic. I do think you guys should go check it out. It is in this one. It's only in the one volume. It's only about 8 issues long. It's a very quick read, very gorgeously illustrated, well written for the most part. I do have some issues with the pacing on occasion, but I would say it's better paced than Extremity, which is the only other Daniel Warren Johnson book that I've read. But I really enjoyed Murder Falcon. I think Daniel Warren Johnson is a very talented guy, and I think that you should check out his work. I mean, he's definitely a guy you should check out. He's definitely one of comics' rising stars right now, and I'm definitely planning on checking out more of his work in the future, and I will definitely also read more. I will cover more of his works on here when I find the chance. So yeah, definitely gonna be doing that. Love Murder Falcon though, and check it out. It's got a thumbs up from me. So yeah, I guess that's the end of the video. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. Check me out on Twitter. Check me out on Goodreads and Letterboxd, which have more coherent reviews than the one you probably just heard right now. And check out my Discord. Please, come talk to me. But yeah, no. Murder Falcon. Fun stuff. Give it a look. See you guys later.